Chosen one, stop everything and let this moment anchor you, because what you're about to hear isn't a coincidence. It's a divine intervention. You've been led here for a reason, standing at the edge of a monumental spiritual shift that will transform your life. But before your purpose can fully unfold, there's a battle you must face, and it won't come gently. The confusion, setbacks, and emotional turbulence you're experiencing are not random. They're a direct response to your rising light. The enemy senses your elevation and is doing everything possible to stop you. These attacks are not signs of failure. They're proof that your breakthrough is near. You may feel shaken, betrayed, or lost in the storm, but this is your wake-up call to rise. Right now, lock this moment into your spirit. You are not just surviving, you are preparing to thrive. Engage fully, hit like to claim your space, subscribe to join a community of warriors, and comment 99 to align yourself with divine protection and breakthrough. That number isn't just symbolic, it's a signal to the universe that you are ready. If you're truly chosen, your soul knows this message is for you. Don't walk away. This is your warning, your confirmation, and your activation. Your calling is real, and the warfare is fierce because of it. But so is your anointing. You've walked through fire, through lessons and losses, but now your season of transformation is at the door. The universe is aligning in your favor, preparing to elevate you beyond what you imagined. This is your time to rise boldly, to walk in your power, and to step fully into the purpose that was always meant for you. You are chosen, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. This is your moment to rise, to shine, and to step boldly into the divine plan crafted uniquely for you. But with this sacred calling comes a sobering truth. It's not just a time for celebration, it's a time for spiritual readiness. God's urgent cry is both a shout of joy and a warning. What lies ahead will require courage, faith, and unwavering focus. Embrace this season with confidence, but stay vigilant, because every challenge you've endured has been molding you for this very moment. There are no accidents here. Every tear, every setback, and every small victory has been part of a divine preparation, calculated, intentional, and perfectly timed. Though the path ahead may feel uncertain, you must remember, God does not call the unprepared. You've been refined through trials and shaped by fire. Like a runner at the starting line who is trained in silence. You are ready, and your breakthrough isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Just as the sunrise returns each morning without fail, your moment is coming. The heavens are aligning. Spiritual forces are moving. The stars of your destiny are clicking into place, piece by piece, like a divine puzzle now revealing its breathtaking design. Doors you never knew existed are about to open. Connections are forming, opportunities are unfolding, and behind the veil, the universe is working overtime to elevate you. This is more than a promotion, it's a transformation. You're being called to step into a greater version of yourself, to embrace new levels of influence, responsibility, and purpose. But know this, before every great leap comes a final test. As your elevation nears, subtle attacks may come disguised as confusion, delay, or emotional chaos designed to shake your faith and stop your progress. But don't be deceived. These are not signs of failure, they are proof that your destiny is real, and the enemy is desperate to stop what cannot be stopped. You've come too far. You are ready. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can block what God has ordained for you. These trials often disguise themselves as emotional storms, sudden waves of doubt, confusion, or inner turmoil that strike when you least expect it. They appear just after a blessing, or in the stillness of solitude, waiting to catch you off guard. But don't mistake them for setbacks. They are spiritual indicators that you are on the edge of something extraordinary. These attacks are not coincidences, they are calculated attempts to weaken your spirit before your breakthrough arrives. This is not a battle of flesh and blood, it's a battle of the unseen, where invisible forces seek to invade your mind and heart with whispers of fear, insecurity, and self-doubt. They creep in with precision, whispering lies like you're not chosen, you don't deserve this, or even God has forgotten you. But these are not truths, they are tactics, manipulations designed to distract, derail, and diminish you. In these moments, you must root yourself in the unshakable truth. You are a chosen child of God, deeply loved and fully equipped for what lies ahead. Your emotional strength must become your shield. When fear rises, meet it with faith. When doubt speaks, answer with conviction. These thoughts are not just mental, they are spiritual intrusions meant to fog your vision and freeze your steps. Picture yourself standing at the edge of your divine future, ready to leap, but doubt, like a thick mist, clouds your way. That mist isn't from God, it's from those who fear your potential. The enemy wants you to turn back, to believe you're unworthy or forgotten, but you are not. The way forward is through unwavering belief. Strengthen your faith daily, surround yourself with God's promises, the victories of others, and the evidence of your own past deliverance. Speak life, speak truth, and watch how doubt begins to dissolve. Because when your faith stands firm, no unseen force can stop what has already been destined for you. The enemy often strikes when you're isolated, weary, or emotionally drained, those quiet, vulnerable moments when your defenses are low and your spirit feels exposed. Like shadows creeping in during the darkest hours, these attacks are strategic, designed to catch you off guard. In solitude, the mind becomes a battlefield where fear and doubt can echo without resistance. But solitude doesn't have to be a weakness. In fact, it can become a sacred space of transformation. Use these quiet hours to reconnect with God, to speak truth over yourself, to fill the silence with prayer, reflection, and the reaffirmation of your purpose. Let isolation become your sanctuary, not your downfall. Ironically, some of the fiercest attacks come not in your valleys, but at the height of your blessings, right after a breakthrough, when joy floods in and hope feels alive. That's when the enemy tries to twist your celebration into a distraction, whispering lies, breeding comparison, pride, or complacency. But don't let your guard down. Stay rooted in gratitude, humility, and spiritual discipline. Your blessings are sacred, they are protected. No enemy can steal what God has given. Still, it's natural to question why trials are allowed to follow triumph. But understand, these tests are not punishments, they are purposeful. Like a master craftsman chiseling stone into beauty, God is shaping your spirit. These trials build humility, deepen your faith, and prepare you to carry the weight of greater influence. Each battle is a tool, sculpting you into the leader, the light, the vessel you were born to be. Embrace this season of testing not with fear, but with trust, because within the next 48 hours, something profound is about to shift. A divine orchestration is unfolding behind the scenes, aligning every thread of your journey into a moment that will forever alter your path. This is no accident. You are standing on the brink of a breakthrough so powerful it will not only transform your life but ripple outward, touching others through your story. Trust this process. Even when it feels heavy, you are being led to something sacred. You are standing at the edge of your greatest crossing, and just when you think you can't make it, grace will carry you forward. Just when you feel the weight of uncertainty, a bridge appears strong, steady, and divinely placed to carry you across to a new beginning. That bridge is your breakthrough. It's not just a shift in circumstances, it's a sacred transformation of your entire being. Breakthroughs like this don't come by chance. They are born from seasons of preparation, trials, and unshakable faith. Your past struggles, the sacrifices you've made in silence, and your quiet obedience have all led to this moment. In the next 48 hours, expect something extraordinary, a shift in your career, relationships, health, finances, or spiritual life, each blessing tailored with precision to match your divine purpose. This is your metamorphosis, like the moment a caterpillar breaks free from its cocoon, no longer confined, but soaring into destiny. But make no mistake, this is not the time to coast. These 2 days are pivotal. Stay deeply rooted in prayer, fully alert, and wide open to the subtle ways God will move. It could be a phone call, a divine idea, a sudden peace, or a long-awaited opportunity. Whatever shape it takes, your breakthrough will carry the unmistakable signature of heaven. Protect it. Guard your heart like a fortress, because spiritual vigilance is not optional, it's vital. Just as a watchman stands guard over a city, you must defend your soul against fear, distraction, and negativity. Through prayer, meditation, and truth-speaking, you build the walls that shelter your promise. Think of your breakthrough as a delicate seedling. Your spirit must be tended with light, shielded from toxic storms, and fed with hope. The enemy will try to creep in with discouragement and confusion, but by surrounding yourself with scripture, worship, and positive influence, you strengthen your resistance. This is not fear-based living, it's faith-fueled awareness. When your eyes are open, spiritually, you won't be ambushed, you'll be armed, because what's coming is too scared to lose. Your breakthrough is not the finish line, it's the launch pad, a release point for the divine power God has built within you. waiting to flow through you for a purpose only you can fulfill. This calling is unlike any other, because no one else carries your story, your scars, or your strength. Protect this moment fiercely. Step onto the bridge and walk boldly into the life you were always meant to live. Imagine a powerful river held back by a dam, silent, building pressure, waiting, and then, in a single divine moment, the dam breaks. The water bursts forth with unstoppable force, reshaping everything in its path. That river is the power of God, surging through you, prepared to impact not just your life, but entire communities and generations to come. This calling won't always be comfortable. In fact, it will stretch you, challenge you, and require more than you thought you had. But that's why God has already equipped you. He's filled you with wisdom, courage, strength, and spiritual insight, tools forged through seasons of preparation. Whether you're meant to lead others, create something transformative, or speak life into the brokenhearted, your breakthrough is the key that unlocks that destiny. It is both intimate and world-changing. Embrace it with humility and boldness. Say yes to the opportunities placed before you, knowing that God's power working through you will spark real, lasting change. But be warned, one of the greatest threats to this season is isolation. When elevation is near, visibility is essential. This isn't about seeking fame, it's about staying connected, grounded, and supported. Withdraw too far, and doubt begins to breed. But when you remain engaged with your community, your light not only strengthens you, it inspires others. The greatest leaders in history never rose alone. They had mentors, allies, and witnesses to their journey. Visibility invites divine favor and multiplies impact. Your story, your struggle, your faith, they become beacons of hope for those silently waiting for proof that breakthrough is possible. So don't dim your light. Let it blaze brightly, illuminating the way for others. And as you walk this path, know this: no matter how fierce the battle or relentless the enemy, your breakthrough is protected by heaven itself. The blessings destined for you are sealed, sacred, and unreachable by any opposing force. Picture your promise as a treasure guarded in a fortress of divine power. No weapon, no lie, no delay can touch it. These blessings are like gold refined in fire, pure, enduring, and delivered with divine precision. Even when fear whispers and obstacles rise, hold this truth close. The enemy's power is fleeting, but God's promise is forever. What's coming isn't just a change, it's a holy flood of purpose, favor, and transformation, and it has your name on it. Hold tightly to this unshakable truth. During every trial, your blessings are real. They are on the way, and they are protected by divine authority. No force on earth can alter what God has ordained for you. Let this assurance fill you with peace and courage as you face every challenge ahead. Your breakthrough isn't just coming, it's sealed, sacred, and unstoppable. As the final moments before your transformation approach, your greatest task is to remain ready mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. True strength isn't merely surviving hardship, it's forging a heart that refuses to be shaken by fear, disappointment, or confusion. It's standing firm in unwavering faith, knowing that God is about to move with power on your behalf. This is not an ordinary season, this is a divine appointment, and your preparedness will determine how fully you step into the blessings set aside for you. Picture a soldier before battle. Every piece of armor matters, every movement is intentional. In the same way, equip your spirit through prayer, worship, rest, and the presence of those who speak life into you. Silence every lie that tries to dim your hope, and replace it with the truth of your identity. You are chosen. Strengthen yourself with the knowledge that your breakthrough is not only near, it's imminent. The change you've prayed for, the doors you've knocked on, the dreams you've nurtured, they're about to manifest in ways you never imagined. Stay alert, stay grounded, and keep your focus on the promise, because your time has come and God is about to rewrite your story forever. And understand this: the storms in your life may not be random. Many are spiritual tests, divine disruptions meant to prepare you for elevation. How do you know when you're being tested? Often, it begins with a sudden disturbance in your usual peace. What once flowed easily now feels strained. Delays appear without reason, and emotions spin in confusion. These aren't coincidences, they're signposts from heaven. God is revealing what lies within and refining you for what's ahead. You may face temptations you thought you'd conquered, or wounds you believed were healed. This is not failure, it's purification. Like gold in the fire, you are being shaped and strengthened. God is saying, let's heal this now. before I take you higher. And sometimes, your support systems will grow silent. Friends drift, mentors disappear, and you feel spiritually alone. But this solitude is sacred. In it, you learn to rely on God in a way that builds unshakable intimacy. It is in these quiet, hidden seasons that your spiritual muscles grow strongest. The silence isn't abandonment, it's divine training. And when the breakthrough comes, you'll rise not just changed, but transformed. So don't confuse divine silence with abandonment. Spiritual testing is not punishment, it's preparation. Recognize the signs and respond not with panic, but with unwavering trust. When heaven goes quiet, it's not because God has left you, it's because He's watching closely, seeing how you'll stand when the pressure mounts. The greater the test, the greater the reward. Spiritual warfare begins in the mind, but its ultimate target is your heart. The enemy uses doubt like a dagger, aiming for your identity, your belief system, and your hope. Once doubt enters your heart, it spreads. Like poison, you start questioning your worth, your purpose, even God's presence. That's why guarding your heart isn't optional, it's a command for survival. One of the enemy's most dangerous tactics is subtle emotional warfare through comparison. You begin measuring your life against others, their timelines, their breakthroughs, and wonder why yours looks different. The enemy fuels this with whispers. You're behind, you're forgotten, you're not enough. But God never compares. His plan is personal, perfect, and precisely timed. Guarding your heart means rejecting these lies and refusing to question your divine worth. One of your greatest defenses is intentional gratitude. When the weight of uncertainty threatens your peace, shift your focus to what God has already done. Gratitude is a shield. It stabilizes your emotions and reminds your soul that God has never failed you. Say it aloud if you must. God has brought me too far to leave me now. And above all, keep your heart anchored in God's word. It's not enough to hope vaguely, you need truth that speaks directly into your storm. Write verses on your mirror, play worship during anxiety, declare scripture over your fear. When the battle comes, and it will, your heart will be fortified by promises that no darkness can shake. And in the heat of spiritual attack, your first and most powerful weapon is prayer, not shallow ritual, but fierce, focused, soulful prayer. Cry out from the depths, align your will with heaven, and declare your authority. You don't need perfect words, just a passionate, honest heart. God hears the voice of your spirit. And don't forget, you've been given spiritual armor for a reason. The helmet of salvation protects your mind. The breastplate of righteousness shields your heart. The shield of faith blocks every flaming lie thrown your way. This is not a passive season, it's a time to stand, armored, awake, and unshakable, because what's coming for you is worth the war. And the sword of the Spirit, the living, breathing Word of God, cuts through the darkest lies like lightning in the nights. When you wear your spiritual armor with intention, you're not just enduring the storm. You're standing in victory while the storm rages. You're declaring, I know who I am, and I know whose I am. In the midst of spiritual attacks, the temptation is to retreat, to shut down emotionally, spiritually, to go silent. But that silence is exactly what the enemy is counting on. Don't give him the satisfaction. Instead, press in, pray with urgency, worship with boldness, and speak life with authority. Show the enemy you're not a fragile target, you are a chosen warrior, armed and unafraid. Every time you pray with faith, confusion is sent straight into the enemy's camp. Let your everyday life become a battleground of praise. Pray while you cook, while you drive, while you walk. Talk to God as your friend, your father, your commander. When you live in a state of prayer, you live in a state of divine protection, constantly connected to the one who fights for you. And when God fights your battles, victory is not only possible, it is guaranteed. But beware, isolation is a silent killer of spiritual momentum. When you pull away from people, from community, from God's presence, you create the perfect playground for the enemy to breed doubt, fear, and despair. Just like a lion targets the lone gazelle, the enemy seeks out the spiritually isolated, because he knows when you're alone, your mind is louder, your fears feel bigger, and your doubts take root faster. You begin to question your past, your worth, your calling. You replay old failures and lose sight of your purpose. But here's the truth. Your strength multiplies in community. God designed connection not only for comfort, but for spiritual protection. When you surround yourself with voices that speak truth, grace, and love, the enemy's lies begin to lose their grip. Even Jesus didn't walk alone. He had his disciples, his inner circle, his moments of holy fellowship. If he needed community, so do you. Don't fall for the lie that isolation is safety. It is the most dangerous place to be during spiritual warfare. So speak up, text a friend, join a circle of faith, share your struggle, expose the lie so it loses its power. Your healing, your strength, and your breakthrough, they're all intertwined with the people God has placed around you. The enemy thrives in shadows, but God moves in the light. Don't let the silence win. Step into connection, step into truth, step into freedom. Faith is more than a belief system, it's a lifeline, especially when life blindsides you with unexpected storms. Sudden trials have a way of shaking your very foundation. They hit without warning. A job lost, a diagnosis delivered, a betrayal unveiled, or an opportunity slipping through your fingers. In those moments, it feels like the ground beneath you is collapsing. But faith becomes your anchor. It doesn't erase the pain, it empowers you to endure it. It's the quiet strength that says, "This hurts, but it won't break me." Faith helps you see past the chaos, into the divine purpose hidden within the trial. Remember Job, stripped of everything, yet he declared, "Though he slay me, yet will I trust him." That kind of trust isn't born overnight. It's forged in the fire, strengthened each time you choose to believe, even when there's no evidence in sight. Faith allows you to hold on to what you can't see and trust in what hasn't yet come. When trials scream, "It's over," faith whispers, "God is not done." That whisper may be faint, but its power is greater than the loudest fear. Speak it aloud, declare God's promises. Remember your past victories, shift the atmosphere with your words. Faith doesn't deny the storm, it declares that the boat won't sink because Jesus is on board. So when everything crashes without warning, don't fold, stand. Say, "God, I don't understand this, but I trust you." That posture invites divine power into your chaos, and when God steps into your storm, no trial can defeat you. Faith is your weapon, wields it boldly. And understand this, God's timing often feels confusing, especially when you've prayed, fasted, and waited, only to hear silence. Then suddenly, after your hardest battles, the breakthrough arrives. Why? Because divine timing isn't about convenience, it's about preparation. God waits until your character is solid, your obedience refined, your faith unshakable. Like a master warrior wouldn't place a sword in the hands of a child, God won't release a heavy blessing until you're ready to carry it. When it finally comes, you'll know it was worth the wait. Chosen one, this is not a message to scroll past or dismiss. This is no coincidence. If these words have found you right now, it's because the divine has led you here with purpose. The universe is speaking and it's urgent. The moment has come. The season of endless waiting, hoping, and wondering is over. What once felt like a distant dream is now rushing toward you with unstoppable force. Listen closely. The desires you've been praying for, the blessings you whispered about in silence, are no longer just possibilities. They are shifting from the invisible into your reality. This is not merely a mindset shift. It's a spiritual awakening, an energetic transformation that only the truly chosen will feel in their bones. Prepare for a rapid outpouring of breakthroughs, miracles, and manifestations. Doors will swing open without warning. Roads will clear in ways you never imagined. But to receive this divine flow, you must be in alignment, heart, mind, and spirit. Resistance, doubt, or distraction will block the very blessings you've waited for. So stop everything. Right now, activate this moment. Hit the like button to send a signal of readiness into the spiritual realm. Subscribe to step fully into this awakened tribe, and share this message so others may find their calling too. Comment 99 below, a sacred number that unlocks cosmic energy and amplifies this truth in your life. This is not for the passive or uncertain. It's for the awakened, the chosen. And if you're still here, still reading, still stirred by something deep within, then know this: your spirit already recognizes the truth. The coming days will require bold faith. Yes, you will be tested, but you will also rise beyond your wildest dreams. God is moving. The universe is realigning. The cosmic clock is ticking in your favor. This isn't just another message, it is a sacred summons from the divine, calling you out of the ordinary and into the extraordinary. Your heart has been prepared, silently and patiently, for such a time as this. What happens next will change everything. The time to awaken is now. This message cuts through the noise of everyday life, demanding your full attention, not later, but now. Life's distractions have kept you distant, but God is reaching out, calling you back with a voice like a lighthouse in a storm, guiding you from chaos into clarity, from wandering into purpose. This urgency is not fear, it's love, it's destiny, calling. The divine clock is ticking, and this sacred window will not remain open forever. God is not simply asking you to listen, He is asking for your undivided commitment, your whole heart. You are being summoned into something far greater than yourself, a sacred invitation to step into a divine council, a gathering of the 144,000 awakened souls, each carrying a spark of divine light. You, chosen one, have been called to this convergence not by coincidence but by divine design. This is the culmination of your spiritual journey thus far, the place where your soul tribe awaits those who reflect your deepest truth, purpose, and maybe even your destined soulmate. To step into this sacred circle, you must rise above fear, ego, and distraction. It's a calling for discipline, for devotion, and for a soul that's ready to be refined and empowered. The energy surrounding this awakening is charged with divine purpose, healing, and transformation. Your presence in this moment will help shape the unfolding of a new spiritual era. And God is standing ready beside you, not passively, but actively, offering strength, clarity, and supernatural alignment. But His help comes with a condition: your focused presence. This is a fleeting, holy moment that demands your full surrender. Let go of what drains you. Silence the noise. Stop hesitating. God's support is like a mighty current, but it can only carry those willing to dive in completely. This is a sacred partnership, and it's waiting for you to say yes with your entire being, because what lies ahead is not just change, it's a spiritual revolution that will alter the very fabric of your existence, not just outside of you, but within. This is the moment you've been prepared for. Step into it. This is not just change, it's an inner transformation that will realign your soul with divine purpose and infinite possibility. But the question remains, are you truly ready to receive it? Alignment with God goes far beyond mere belief. It's a deliberate, conscious tuning of your heart, mind, and spirit to the frequency of the divine. Like a delicate instrument, your soul must be finely tuned. Only then can the music of your purpose soar. This alignment unlocks peace, clarity, and unstoppable spiritual momentum. Without it, the coming shift may feel overwhelming, even disorienting. But with it, you will stand grounded, anchored in truth, flowing in grace. The transformation you are being called into is not superficial. It will stretch you, refine you, and elevate you into the highest version of yourself. The decision to align is the doorway to everything you've prayed for. The world constantly pulls at you, flooding your senses with noise, distractions, opinions, and false urgencies. But now is the sacred moment to break away. God is calling you inward to the quiet sanctuary of your soul, where your true power lives. Your energy is sacred. Stop scattering it like dust in the wind. Focus it like a beam of divine light. When you turn your energy inward, you begin to tap into a reservoir of strength, intuition, and spiritual clarity. This inward gaze is not retreat, it's resurrection. Distractions blur your vision and dilute your divine power. But by consciously closing the door to the chaos of the world and turning fully toward God's presence within, you reclaim your authority over your spiritual path. Every moment spent chasing external validation, approval, or worldly gain depletes your soul. God's invitation is clear. Stop feeding what's fleeting. Instead, turn to the eternal source, His presence where unshakable peace and power flow freely. The world is a desert, offering mirages. God is the oasis, refreshing, sustaining, true. Move toward Him, and you will awaken to a deeper reality, one anchored in love, clarity, and divine direction. This shift requires courage. It means releasing attachments, outdated identities, and cultural expectations. But the reward is a life infused with purpose and supernatural peace. God is your refuge, His presence, the wellspring of joy, waiting patiently for your return. And now, more than ever, your presence is needed. Throughout sacred history, the number 144,000 has symbolized a divine assembly, a collective of chosen souls, united in higher calling. This is not about elitism, it's about divine readiness. You are being summoned to join this extraordinary gathering, a living beacon of hope in a world desperate for healing. This is your invitation to rise, to step fully into your highest spiritual expression, and contribute your unique light to a mission greater than yourself. Imagine standing shoulder to shoulder with thousands of awakened souls, each one radiating light, moving in harmony toward a shared divine purpose. To join this sacred circle is to accept responsibility, humility, and a love deeper than words. It's not just a journey, it's a transformation that ties your soul to God and to others walking beside you, forming a spiritual alliance that will spark a renaissance echoing across time and space. In today's world, it's far too easy to get lost in the chase for validation, likes, comments, followers, all tempting you to measure your worth by the fleeting approval of others. But God is calling you to something far greater. He's not after your popularity, He wants your presence. He wants your stillness, your full attention. This is a sacred invitation to shift from outer noise to inner knowing. Reflect on how often you've let public opinion shape your identity. How much energy have you spent worrying about being seen by others instead of being known by God? This calling asks you to break that cycle, to leave behind the illusion and return to truth. God's gaze is unchanging, steady, eternal, and when you fix your focus on Him, something profound awakens. Your most authentic self, untethered from the judgments of this world. There is a wild freedom in knowing that you are fully seen, fully loved, and fully accepted by the divine. It ignites strength within you that no worldly praise could ever match. Yes, this shift demands courage. It asks you to be vulnerable, to trust deeply, and to surrender control. But in doing so, you unlock your true spiritual power. So many seek blessings, peace, abundance, love, healing, but what God is offering you now go far beyond receiving. He is calling you into divine responsibility. This isn't just about being blessed, it's about becoming a blessing, a servant leader, a vessel of healing, a beacon of unwavering love. Blessings are not the destination, they are the fruit that follows obedience to purpose. Like a gardener in a vast field, the blessings may be sweet, but the responsibility lies in the daily tending, watering, pruning, nurturing, even through drought and storm. Your spiritual journey is the same. To accept divine responsibility is to say yes, even when it's hard to show up. When no one is watching, to love without condition and serve without ego. It's natural to come to God with your needs, healing, peace, and success, but in this moment, He is turning the question around. He is asking not what He can do for you, but what you are willing to become for Him. He's asking for your surrender, your trust, your willingness to be shaped by something eternal. This calling is not easy. It stretches you, humbles you, transforms you, but it is the key to a life of power, purpose, and sacred fulfillment. The plan may not always make sense, but the one who designed it does, and He is calling you to rise. God's vision for your life is greater than anything you could ever conceive, panoramic in scope, stretching across dimensions of purpose, impact, and divine timing. When you prioritize what God desires from you over your own immediate wants, you step into alignment with a cosmic rhythm, a sacred flow that carries blessings, grace, and meaning far beyond your imagination. It becomes a dance of faith, where you humbly step back so that divine wisdom can take the lead. This surrender isn't weakness, it's the highest form of trust. You may not always understand why some prayers remain unanswered, or why certain paths feel clouded. But yielding your will to God's plan unlocks miracles, growth, and a kind of soul-deep clarity that only divine orchestration can bring. Your yes to God's calling is the most powerful gift you can offer, not just for your own transformation, but for the healing and awakening of those around you. There is a holy energy in the air right now, almost electric, as you stand at the edge of something extraordinary. This is not a small shift, it's a rebirth, a shedding of fear, ego, and limitation. A return to your soul's original light. It feels like a storm. Winds of doubt, chaos, and discomfort may swirl around you, but storms don't just destroy, they purify. They till the soil of your spirit, preparing it for divine growth. What feels like pressure is actually the refining fire, shaping you for purpose. Step into this gateway with trust. You are not alone. God's presence surrounds you, ready to carry you through. On the other side of this threshold is your true power, clarity, and divine alignment. And to cross that threshold, you must embrace something many overlook: discipline. Often misunderstood as cold or restrictive, discipline in the spiritual realm is sacred. It is the daily devotion that strengthens your spirit, the practice that clears your mind, the quiet obedience that sharpens your faith. God is inviting you now to take this discipline seriously, not as a burden, but as a holy preparation. Think of it like the sculptor's hands gently shaping clay, cutting away what no longer serves, revealing what was always hidden beneath. Discipline requires sacrifice. It may ask you to release harmful habits, walk away from draining relationships, or silence the inner critic. But every act of discipline is an investment in your future power. It fortifies you. It aligns you. It prepares you for the responsibility and radiance of your divine assignment. What you commit to now becomes the strength you carry into the next chapter. God is equipping you, piece by piece, moment by moment, because the work ahead is sacred, and you are the one He has chosen to fulfill it. One of the most sacred gifts on this spiritual journey is the promise of connection. Soon, you may feel an undeniable pull, an inner knowing that leads you into the embrace of your spiritual tribe, a community of souls who recognize your essence, understand your battles, and share your divine aspirations. For some, this alignment may even extend to meeting a soulmate, a divine partner whose presence mirrors and amplifies your soul's evolution. Imagine the peace of coming home to someone or to a group where you are fully seen, fully known, and fully accepted. Your tribe is not merely a group, it is a collective heartbeat, a tapestry of shared light, love, and destiny. Within it, you will be challenged and uplifted, stretched and inspired, as you grow into your highest self alongside others doing the same. And if it is part of your divine path, your soulmate will be more than a romantic companion. There will be a spiritual co-creator, a sacred mirror, a force of love that heals and awakens. Whether through community or sacred union, prepare your heart to receive what is coming. These connections will enrich your path beyond what words can capture. You are not walking alone. You are part of something vast and luminous, a divine network of chosen souls spread across time, space, and dimensions. You are connected by threads of purpose, light, and eternal calling. And in moments when you feel isolated or burdened, remember, the spiritual family walks beside you in unseen ways. You are held not just by the hand of God, but by a global circle of awakened souls, each contributing to a collective mission of healing, truth, and transformation. This connection transcends the physical. It is spiritual unity in its purest form, and your unique journey enriches this sacred web. Together, you will illuminate the world with divine brilliance. Right now, a profound awakening is stirring within you. Dormant energies, ancient and divine, are being activated. Your spiritual power, long resting in silence, is being summoned forth to fulfill your purpose in ways you've never imagined. But to embrace this rising energy, you must be ready. Are you prepared to receive it with an open heart and surrendered spirit? Spiritual activation is not abstract. It is real. It floods your soul with clarity, courage, and divine direction, empowering you to walk with wisdom in a chaotic world. But this power requires your release of fear, of doubt, of limitations. Imagine a dam bursting open, unleashing a mighty river of living water that is the force of your spiritual awakening, ready to rush through your veins and reshape your entire reality. Let it flow. Let it transform, because the world needs your light now more than ever. Destiny is calling, and this is your moment to rise. Now is the time to embrace your inner strength and the sacred gifts God has placed within you. With every breath, you move closer to your divine blueprint, the unique purpose etched into your soul before time began. But remember, readiness is a choice. It's not a destination. It's a daily devotion, a conscious decision to trust the unknown, to walk forward even when the path is unclear, and to align your every action with the quiet call of your spirit. Say yes to the awakening. Allow your spiritual power to rise, to expand, and to lead you into a future glowing with purpose and divine connection. Fear and doubt will try to cling to you. They are natural companions on any sacred journey. They whisper hesitation when you most need boldness. But now is the moment to break free. God's timing is flawless, orchestrated with a wisdom that surpasses all human understanding. When you surrender fear, you make space for miracles. You invite grace. Think of a tree. Long before its branches reach for the sky, its roots push deep into the earth, unseen but essential. Your process is no different. Even when nothing appears to be changing, God is working beneath the surface, laying foundations, aligning details, refining your character. Delay is not denial, it is divine preparation when doubt tries to take hold. Remember, God's clock is not yours, but His timing is always perfect. When your breakthrough arrives, it will be unstoppable, overflowing, and exactly what your soul has been prepared to receive. Surrendering fear doesn't mean standing still. It means moving forward with faith. It means practicing trust in action, choosing hope over worry, peace over panic, and surrender over control. Trust the rhythm of the divine. Your soul's highest destiny is waiting, and it will come in perfect time. And as you wait, understand this: discipline is not a burden. It is the golden key to divine favor. Discipline clears the clutter and creates sacred space, making room for God's presence to dwell and move. It is how you show heaven that you are serious, that you are ready. Through daily prayer, meditation, and intention, discipline becomes your foundation, your spiritual rhythm that aligns you with the frequency of miracles. Look to the lives of those who moved mountains, not by force, but by consistent obedience. Their power was born from relentless discipline, from honoring the sacred even in silence. This practice sharpens your focus, teaches patience, builds resilience, and keeps you anchored when the storms come. It transforms chaos into clarity, and in that clarity, divine favor flows. Discipline is not punishment, it is love in action, a sacred vow between your soul and the divine. And those who keep that vow walk not only in power but in profound, unshakable peace. Love for yourself, for your growth, and for your sacred mission is the foundation of discipline. Embrace it not as a burden, but as a joyful devotion, a sacred rhythm that prepares the soil of your life for God's promises to bloom in full beauty. Through daily discipline, you align your soul with divine order, creating a life that reflects heaven's light. Remember, energy is the currency of the universe. Every thought, feeling, and action sends ripples outward, shaping your tomorrow. Right now, you stand at a crossroads. You can continue scattering your energy outward into distractions, or you can reclaim it, redirecting it inward towards spiritual alignment and divine purpose. The choice you make today will echo through every tomorrow. Focused energy is like a laser cutting through the fog, precise, powerful, and transformative. When you consciously center your energy on God's presence, you clear obstacles, attract divine opportunities, and begin walking the path your soul was always meant to follow. But this redirection requires intention. Notice where your thoughts wander, what drains your attention, and how your emotions serve or sabotage you. Are they building your spirit or fracturing your peace? Redirecting energy through prayer, reflection, and presence replenishes your spiritual reservoir, planting sacred seeds in the garden of your subconscious. These seeds blossom into a reality filled with clarity, grace, and divine favor. Your future is not a mystery, it's a garden you're cultivating with each faithful choice to center your life around God's light. True alignment is a holy dance, a harmony between mind, heart, and spirit. Each must be attuned to create a vessel capable of receiving and enacting God's highest will. Begin with the mind. Calm the noise through meditation, prayer, or stillness. In silence, divine wisdom rises, unclouded by doubt. Then open your heart, heals, forgive, feel. The heart is your spiritual compass, guiding you toward truth and love. A heart that's open becomes a sanctuary for divine inspiration. Finally, nurture your spirit through regular connection with God through worship, sacred reading, or simply sitting in His presence. When mind, heart, and spirit align, you become a radiant channel of divine power, ready to fulfill your mission with courage and grace. And through it all, know this: you are never alone. Even in your loneliest moments, God's presence walks beside you, quiet, constant, unwavering. His companionship is your strength, your shelter, and your guide. You don't have to see the full path to trust the one who walks it with you. His love is the steady hand carrying you forward, step by step, into your destiny. Life's challenges can feel isolating, but never forget the divine spirit is your closest, most faithful companion. When doubt clouds your mind or your spirit grows weary, lean into prayer or sit in stillness. You will feel God's presence gently surrounding you, holding you up, never letting go. And beyond God's presence, you are enveloped by sacred network angels, guides, and a spiritual tribe of awakened souls. These unseen allies labor tirelessly to protect, encourage, and uplift you. Your path is not random. It is woven into a vast, radiant tapestry of love and light, and every step you take is supported by this divine fellowship. Trust in this sacred companionship. When hardships come, know that God's steady hand rests upon your shoulder, walking with you, not away from the storm, but through it, toward your victory. You are never alone. In fact, you are divinely surrounded. God speaks not just in loud miracles, but in whispers and symbols, in the quiet nudges, the vivid dreams, the peaceful moment amidst chaos. Preparation is constant and often subtle, a feeling that pulls you to pause, a conversation that lingers, a coincidence too precise to ignore. These are spiritual signals, gently guiding your soul toward alignment. Pay attention to the people, places, or ideas that draw your focus. They are likely divine arrows pointing you toward growth. Even life's hardest trials serve as preparation, strengthening your faith, deepening your patience, refining your resilience. Your intuition is not random, it is your divine GPS. Listen to it, trust it, keep a journal, record the signs. Over time, patterns will emerge, revealing God's blueprint for your next step. Every sign is a loving reminder. God is actively shaping your path. Stay open, stay alert. Your divine awakening is not a single event, it is unfolding in every moment, with every breath. And no matter your past, no matter the pain, regret, or mistakes, it is not a chain that binds you, but the soil from which your transformation has bloomed. Your story, including its darkest pages, has cultivated the wisdom, empathy, and strength that now prepare you to rise. Like a diamond formed under pressure, your trials have shaped your brilliance. Release the shame. Let go of regret. These emotions do not reflect your worth, they only cloud it. Instead, honor your past as a sacred teacher, rich with lessons that only you were meant to learn. Your experiences were not in vain, they have equipped you to lead, inspire, and heal. Your past is not your prison, it is your foundation. God has turned every chapter into stepping stones toward your divine destiny. Embrace your entire journey, because even in the noisy chaos of life, heaven is whispering, you are ready. In a world filled with noise, silence and stillness become revolutionary. Acts of spiritual power. These sacred spaces are not empty, they are deeply alive. Fertile ground where divine wisdom quietly takes root. In the intentional quiet, you disconnect from distraction and reconnect with the presence of God within. As daily worries soften into the background, the gentle whispers of your soul's truth rise to the surface. This stillness is a portal, a sacred threshold where healing, clarity, and peace await. Through regular moments of silence, you cultivate patience, mindfulness, and the ability to respond to life with grace rather than react in haste. Your spiritual senses sharpen, allowing you to discern God's guidance with clarity amid the chaos. Embrace silence as your sanctuary, a sacred space to breathe, listen, and simply be. In doing so, your spiritual awakening accelerates, your faith deepens, and your path becomes illuminated with divine light. But to walk this path fully, you must also guard your attention. The world constantly bombards you with distractions, social media, noise, comparison, the chase for validation. These distractions scatter your energy and dull your sensitivity to the divine. God is calling you now to a heavenly focus, to reject temporary diversions and embrace what is eternal. Prioritizing your relationship with God, your inner growth, and your sacred mission becomes an act of holy rebellion. Set boundaries. Protect your energy. Choose environments, relationships, and practices that uplift your spirit rather than drain it. Your attention is like a beam of light. When focused, it becomes powerful enough to cut through darkness. When scattered, it dims and weakens your clarity. To experience divine fulfillment, discipline your focus toward what truly matters. This redirection is an act of love for yourself, for your calling, and for God. By choosing what nurtures your soul over what merely entertains your senses, you create space for miracles, divine inspiration, and a deeper awareness of God's presence. The blessings God has prepared for you are not small, they are abundant, overflowing, ready to transform your life. But to receive them, your heart must be prepared. That preparation is more than passive waiting, it's intentional healing, openness, and surrender. A heart aligned with divine love becomes fertile soil where miracles take root. Unhealed wounds, resentment, or fear block the flow of grace. Look inward with compassion. Forgive what still aches. Cleanse what still weighs you down. Though this inner work may feel uncomfortable, it is the sacred cleansing that makes room for true joy, radiant abundance, and the blessings heaven longs to pour into your life. This isn't just another message. This is a divine alert, straight from the throne of heaven. Right now, in this very moment, God has spoken. A shift has begun, and a list has been declared, a list of those who must be ready, and guess what? You are on it. If you're seeing this, it's not a coincidence. You have been handpicked, chosen, and called for a destiny so massive, so transformative, it will shatter every limit you thought existed. Listen carefully, what you're about to hear is urgent. It's life-altering. The season of waiting is over. The prayers, the dreams, and the whispered hopes you've carried for years, those breakthroughs, those miracles, they're not just coming, they're already in motion, charging into your life with divine speed and unstoppable force. This is not a season. This is a spiritual and energetic awakening, a full activation of your calling, a shift so profound it will reshape your entire reality. But here's the truth. Many will miss it. Many will scroll past, distracted, disconnected, unprepared, but not you, because you are on God's list, the list of the chosen. This moment is your divine call to action, to step in, to rise up, to align, to receive. You need to understand exactly how this shift works, so you don't miss what's meant for you. Open your heart, your mind, and your spirit. The blessings and opportunities headed your way are moving fast, faster than you've ever experienced. Doors will fly open. Divine connections will align. Things that once felt impossible will suddenly fall into place. But you must meet this moment with readiness and intention. So right now, pause and do these 3 urgent things. Hit the like button. This is your energetic yes, a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. Subscribe. Help us reach 1,000 awakened souls stepping into this new era together. Comment the number 99. This sacred number is a key. It activates and amplifies the spiritual energy of this message, sending a powerful ripple through the divine realm. If you're truly one of the chosen ones, your spirit won't let you walk away. You'll stay until the end, because something deep inside you already knows this message was meant for you. If you're not ready, that's okay. But those who stay, those who hear and act, will never be the same. This is not someday. It's now, this moment, this awakening, this divine assignment. God has spoken. You are called. Everything you've been waiting for is already on its way. Are you ready? Chosen one? Then let's step into it together. Right now, in a realm beyond the reach of human eyes, a sacred list is being unveiled, a divine ledger written by the hand of God Himself. On this list are the names of those chosen for an extraordinary purpose, a mission that will shift the fabric of both the earthly and the spiritual. And by the miracle of grace, your name is inscribed on it. Pause. Let that truth anchor in your spirit. You have been selected by the Creator of the universe for a destiny unlike any other. This is not a hopeful coincidence or a stroke of luck. This is a holy summons, a direct invitation to rise into your God-ordained mission. Every twist, every hardship, every triumph in your life has led to this pivotal moment. The weight of this list cannot be overstated. Throughout time, God has called out names: Abraham, Moses, Esther, Mary, ordinary people who were destined to carry out extraordinary divine plans. Their names were known in the heavens long before their stories unfolded on earth. Now, you stand among them. You may have felt forgotten, overlooked, even broken, but this divine list declares otherwise. It affirms your value. It affirms your role in the unfolding spiritual movement sweeping across the earth. Every trial, every loss, every moment of growth has refined you in fire, molding you into a vessel capable of carrying something sacred. Imagine the cosmic gravity of this call, knowing that angels, heavenly hosts, and the entire spiritual realm recognize your name and your purpose. This moment isn't just about you. It's about a divine mission, and you are central to it. The universe is already responding. Circumstances are shifting. People are being aligned. Doors are preparing to open, all to support your rise. Your breakthrough isn't a far-off hope. It begins with this awareness. You have been chosen, and that changes everything. There is a spiritual shift sweeping the earth, a divine awakening so intense it cannot be delayed or denied. This isn't something far away. It is happening now. You may feel it as a trembling in your soul, a sacred restlessness, a deep stirring within your spirit. These aren't coincidences. They are holy signs of transformation breaking through. The old is falling away, and something entirely new, powerful, purposeful, unstoppable is rushing in. Just as in the great awakenings of history, where nations and individuals were shaken into divine clarity, That awakening is here again, but this time, it's personal. It's tailored to your spirit. Heaven is moving with precision, orchestrating a divine shift in your mindset, your reality, and your spiritual posture. It's as if the cosmos itself is building a stage, and your name is being called to step forward as a leader, a healer, a light in the darkness. This shift won't wait for you to feel ready. It demands your response. It calls you to rise now because the moment is here, and the heavens are watching. You may feel confusion, fear, or even resistance right now, because true change rarely arrives in comfort, but do not be dismayed. These feelings are sacred signs that something within you is shifting. Like a seed breaking through the soil to greet the sun, you are emerging into a new season, one where your true purpose will be revealed. The divine shift has begun, and it is calling you to rise into a life far greater than you've ever imagined. When God chooses you, it sets off a spiritual spark deep within your soul, a sudden illumination that pierces through the fog of doubt and uncertainty. You may have already felt this quiet but undeniable sense that something holy is awakening inside you. It may come as heightened intuition, moments of clarity, or a powerful hunger to draw closer to God and discover the deeper meaning of your existence. This is the beginning of your awakening, the sacred threshold of a journey that will transform every corner of who you are. And though this awakening is beautiful, it is also demanding. It requires preparation both mentally and spiritually. Mentally, it's time to release the toxic thoughts, fears, and limiting beliefs that have held you back for far too long. Fill your mind with truth, promises from Scripture, affirmations of God's love, and the unwavering hope found in His Word. Spiritually, nurture your divine connection through prayer, meditation, worship, and stillness. These aren't rituals to check off, they are sacred lifelines, the foundation of your transformation. Awakening is a process, not an instant event. There will be moments when you feel unsure or spiritually dry, but these are part of the refining. Fire, be patient with yourself. The spark within you is growing into a flame that will soon light your path with divine clarity. You have been chosen for a purpose, and this awakening is the first step toward fulfilling your destiny. Right now, you may sense a stirring and unexplainable shift in your soul. These higher spiritual currents are moving through you, awakening parts of your being that have long been dormant. Sudden waves of emotion may come, moments of joy that rise unexpectedly, or tears that fall without reason. This is the divine stirring. Your spirit is responding to a supernatural movement already in motion. These emotions are not random, they are purposeful. Heaven is gently touching the most tender places within you, shaking loose old wounds and buried doubts so that new life can emerge. Though this process may feel unsettling, do not resist it. Each wave is cleansing your soul, dissolving the barriers that once held you back. You are being prepared, cleared, and consecrated to receive a greater measure of God's presence than ever before. Look to the examples of spiritual giants throughout history, prophets, mystics, and saints who often experienced deep emotional and spiritual upheaval before their greatest breakthroughs. They didn't run from the discomfort, they sat with it, surrendered to it, and trusted it as part of God's refining work. You, too, are walking that sacred path. Allow these higher energies to flow through you, not as chaos, but as cleansing, not as fear, but as preparation. They are awakening and strengthening you for the glory that lies ahead. If your mind feels chaotic, your emotions tangled, your thoughts spinning in circles, know this: you are not losing your sanity. What you're experiencing is divine activation. When God is preparing someone for a breakthrough, both the emotional and spiritual realms must shift into alignment, and that realignment often stirs temporary inner turbulence. But this is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence that transformation is underway. The breakthrough list you've heard about is not myth, it is real, and your presence on it is no accident. It is a sacred declaration that you have been chosen for leadership, healing, and profound transformation. You were selected with intention, and that truth is meant to give you courage, even when the way ahead feels hidden. Think of this confusion as twilight, before the dawn a passing fog that will soon give way to divine clarity. Hold on, trust that God is orchestrating every detail, even in the silence. Your breakthrough isn't just coming, it is destined for you. You are meant to receive it. So when confusion creeps in to steal your peace, remind yourself that this is part of the process, and clarity is near. In a world saturated with noise and distraction, the most powerful miracles are often birthed in stillness. You are being called now not to withdraw in fear, but to retreat with purpose. This is an invitation to create sacred space for the divine, to move freely in your life. Stillness is not passive, it is profoundly powerful. When you quiet your heart and mind, you open the door for miracles that cannot reach you in your rushing or restlessness. Meditation becomes your gateway to the supernatural. It is more than relaxation, it is sacred communion. In these quiet moments, God speaks. He heals, He reveals. The answers you seek, the peace you crave, the breakthrough you've prayed for, they are already waiting in the silence. Just as Jesus withdrew to lonely places to pray, so must you find your inner sanctuary. Make this stillness a daily offering. Set aside time, find a quiet corner, breathe deeply, invite God in. Don't fill the silence with worry or noise, fill it with trust, because it's in this stillness that divine encounters unfold. Miracles don't always come with thunder or bright lights. Sometimes they arrive like a whisper, a shift in the atmosphere, a door opening quietly. Be still, be patient, stay anchored. Your awakening is not passive, it is calling you to action, to listen, to prepare, to step boldly into the miraculous life God has designed for you. The divine shift that's coming is not for those who wait passively, it's for those who prepare with intention and act in faith. Breakthrough is not random, it is attracted, invited, and welcomed through alignment with God's will. There are specific steps required to position your life for the favor and acceleration that heaven is releasing. These are not suggestions. They are spiritual disciplines, sacred actions that prepare your heart, mind, and environment for divine visitation. First, forgive. Release the pain, betrayal, and bitterness weighing down your spirit. Forgiveness is a divine key that unlocks the gates of freedom, healing, and favor. Next, cleanse your space. Your physical environment reflects your inner world. Remove clutter, negativity, and spiritual distractions. Create a sanctuary, a space where God feels welcome. Dedicate time daily to prayer and journaling. Speak honestly with God and make room to listen. Give generously, even when it feels hard. Give without expectation. Generosity activates spiritual blessings. It opens doors that remain locked through self-preservation. Set clear boundaries to protect your energy and guard your peace. Release toxic connections and stand firmly in your worth. Meditate on God's promises. Fill your mind with truth, not fear. With hope, not doubt. These 9 spiritual disciplines, done with sincere obedience, will become the foundation on which your breakthrough is built. Obedience in this season will trigger divine acceleration in the next. Generosity, in particular, is one of your most powerful spiritual weapons. Giving to the poor is not just kindness, it is a sacred transaction, a key that unlocks heavenly favor. When you give selflessly, without condition, you mirror the heart of God, and heaven responds with grace that overflows. This principle is not theory, it's a spiritual law proven across generations. Remember the widow who gave her 2 small coins. Jesus honored her gift above all because she gave, not out of abundance, but out of surrender. This teaches us that it's not the size of your offering, but the depth of your faith that moves heaven. Your giving activates a flow of protection, provision, and favor that will sustain you when you need it most. Even the smallest offering, when given from the heart, multiplies in the hands of God. Charity purifies your spirit. It dissolves spiritual blockages. It turns scarcity into abundance. When you give to those in need, you plant seeds in spiritual soil, seeds that will grow into a harvest of miracles. Your breakthrough is tied to your willingness to bless others. So give with courage and watch the windows of heaven swing wide open. Spiritual cleansing is also essential in this season of divine preparation. Just as your physical body requires bathing, your spirit needs purification to be renewed. Use holy water not only physically, but symbolically. Let it wash over you as a declaration. I release the old. I welcome the new. Holy water is more than liquid. It is a sacred tool, a symbol of rebirth, cleansing, and consecration. Let it cleanse doubt, guilt, heaviness, and anything else that lingers in your soul. As you engage in this act with faith, you make space for divine power to dwell in you. What's ahead requires a clean vessel, and through spiritual cleansing, you are saying yes to become that vessel, pure, ready, and radiant with purpose. It is charged with divine power and heavenly intention. When you anoint yourself with holy water or sprinkle it throughout your home, You are not performing an empty ritual. You are opening a portal for God's sanctifying presence to cleanse, heal, and restore. This act becomes a spiritual reset, removing energetic clutter and creating a clean channel for God's light to shine through without obstruction. Take a moment now. Write down your fears, regrets, or burdens. Let the ink carry what your soul has carried for too long. Then, with sacred intent, wash them away symbolically or physically. Let the water carry it all back into God's hands. This is more than healing. It is preparation. For your breakthrough requires purity, not just of heart, but of environment. Embrace this sacred ritual fully. Step into your next chapter cleansed, whole, and ready. Your struggles are not signs of weakness or failure. They are sacred ingredients in the alchemy of transformation. They are the very fuel God uses to refine your character, deepen your faith, and prepare you for what's next. Writing your hardships on paper is a divine practice. It moves your pain out of the shadows and into the light, where it can be transformed from chaos into clarity, from burden into blueprint. Every breakthrough has its wilderness. Moses walked through it. David stood in it facing Goliath. Jesus endured it in the garden. You are walking your own path of fire, but this is how God forges warriors, prophets, and world changers. Use your journal as sacred ground. Write your pain into prayer. Let each entry be a declaration. This will not break me. It will build me. As you do, your written pages become testimony, proof of your faith in the process, and seeds of manifestation. When you confront and release your struggles, you unlock the spiritual power they were holding hostage. What once felt like a weight becomes your wind, the fuel that propels you forward. And even in silence, even when it feels like nothing is happening, God is working. He is managing what you cannot see, orchestrating divine alignment behind the curtain of time. He is not absent, he is strategic. Every delay is divine positioning. Every setback is a setup. Favor is flowing even in your stillness. Think of your life as a tapestry. From your side, it may look tangled, but God sees the masterpiece. He is weaving connections, solutions, and breakthroughs in ways far beyond your comprehension. Stay patient, stay in faith. His plan is unfolding, and it's flawless. Your physical environment, too, is more than a setting. It is a spiritual mirror, a container of energy that either supports your breakthrough or delays it. Just as clutter in the home breeds mental fog, spiritual clutter breeds stagnation. Clear your space intentionally. Remove what doesn't serve your calling. Let go of items that carry emotional weight or past energy. Create order, beauty, and peace. Light candles. Play worship music. Fill your environment with objects that anchor you in purpose, because your surroundings shape your spiritual atmosphere, and when your space is pure, God's presence can dwell freely. Breakthrough begins in your atmosphere, in what you see, feel, and invite. So consecrate your environment as holy ground, as a sanctuary worthy of miracles. Obedience is the key that unlocks divine acceleration. It is more than just compliance, it is an act of trust, a declaration that you believe God's plan is wiser, higher, and more fruitful than anything you could orchestrate on your own. Every time you say yes to God's instruction, especially when it stretches, you signal to heaven that you are ready for more, ready for promotion, for miracles, for divine favor. Think of Abraham, who left everything familiar to follow God without knowing the destination, or Moses, who obeyed God's call despite his fear and limitations. Their obedience ushered in generational blessings, freedom, and divine legacy. So too will your obedience open gates that have been long locked. Even partial obedience delays destiny, but radical, immediate, and wholehearted obedience, that shifts realms. You may be asked to let go of something, to step away from a comfort zone, to speak when it's easier to stay silent, or stay when it's easier to leave. Whatever God asks of you in this season, do it, not later, now, because the breakthrough is tied to the timing of your obedience. And understand this, God doesn't ask for obedience to control you. He asks because He wants to bless you beyond what you can currently imagine. Your yes will move mountains. Your surrender will invite supernatural solutions. And your willingness to follow will lead you directly into the life you were created for. This is your sacred moment. A spiritual alignment is taking place. Heaven is watching. The earth is responding. Your name is on the list. Your breakthrough is written in divine ink. Now is the time to act. So rise up with faith. Clear your space, protect your energy, center your emotions, write your struggles, pray with power, give generously, obey without delay, and watch as the floodgates of heaven open in ways that make you fall to your knees in awe. You are chosen, you are called, you are ready. This is the moment your spirit has been waiting for. Obedience is far more than following rules. It's a deep act of trust, a sacred alignment of your heart and actions with God's perfect will. Just as Abraham obeyed God's call to leave everything familiar behind, not knowing where he was going, you too are being invited to step into the unknown with unwavering faith. His obedience became the foundation for generations of blessing, and yours carries the same potential. When you choose faith over fear, action over delay, and surrender over control, you unlock doors that no effort could force open. This sacred season demands that you walk intentionally, aware that every choice you make is being recorded in heaven's divine ledger, not as a mere list of deeds, but as the very blueprint of your unfolding destiny. Even when no one sees your sacrifice, your faithfulness is being tracked by the eyes of heaven. Like the Israelites crossing the Red Sea, your hesitant steps into uncertainty are steps into the miraculous. God's favor moves with those who walk in obedience, so move boldly. Each step forward, no matter how small, writes a testimony of trust. Let faith anchor you through every storm, knowing that your journey is sacred and your path is divinely orchestrated. And as you walk, expect the night to awaken. In this season, dreams and visions will multiply messages from the divine meant to guide, warn, comfort, and elevate you. These aren't mere symbols. They are supernatural instructions tailored for your spirit. Just as God spoke through dreams to Joseph and Daniel, He is now speaking to you. Keep a journal nearby. Write down every image, word, or emotion you receive. No matter how fragmented they are, clues, divine blueprints unfolding your next assignment. What once felt silent will soon become a sacred dialogue between you and the divine. Prepare your heart, still your mind, and walk forward in full obedience, because heaven is watching, guiding, and ready to reward. Your dreams are not random, they are sacred conversations between your soul and the divine, bridging the physical and spiritual worlds, often filled with cryptic signs or uncomfortable truths. These visions are not meant to confuse but to guide. Embrace them with curiosity and trust, asking God for interpretation, knowing that they are stepping stones toward your destiny. In moments of doubt or fear, these dreams become lifelines, whispering hope, strength, and reassurance from heaven. Trust that every vision is a tool of preparation, a personal message from God filled with love and purpose. At the same time, know that your calling goes beyond personal breakthrough. You have been chosen to break generational chains, those deep patterns of pain, trauma, and spiritual bondage passed down through your family line. This is a sacred responsibility, a divine mission to confront painful legacies, forgive what was, and build something new. Like Nehemiah rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, your faith-fueled actions are laying a new foundation, one of freedom, healing, and divine favor. Your courage to heal not only transforms your life, but sets future generations free. Every step forward becomes a victory for your children and grandchildren, rewriting your family's spiritual DNA with peace and purpose. And as you walk this sacred path, fasting becomes your secret weapon. More than denying food, fasting is a spiritual reset, an intentional clearing of space in your body and soul to receive divine clarity. It sharpens your inner senses, purifies your spirit, and aligns your heart with God's whisper. Just as Moses, Esther, and Jesus fasted before their greatest missions, so too does your fast prepare you for revelation, breakthrough, and divine encounters. Approach it not with duty but with expectation, because the transformation that follows will be unmistakable, profound, and eternal. As you seek God with a sincere spirit, let this time of fasting become a sacred chamber where distractions are dismantled and divine truth is revealed. Don't rush, pray deeply, meditate on scripture, and listen with an open heart. Fasting, when embraced fully, accelerates your spiritual awakening and prepares you to walk in divine favor. It is not a deprivation, but an investment, a clearing of space so that God's whispers can become thunder in your soul. And as your calling begins to stir within you, remember that in its early stages, it is both precious and fragile. Guard it, protect it, like David, who was anointed but not yet crowned. Your silence is a shield, a divine strategy of preparation. In this quiet season, avoid the temptation to overshare. Instead, build your strength in solitude. Let your calling mature in the sacred soil of silence, hidden from the winds of doubt and the eyes of those who may not understand your purpose. This secrecy is not isolation, it's incubation. Fill your silence with worship, prayer, and stillness, knowing that when God chooses to reveal your assignment, it will erupt with unmistakable clarity and unstoppable force. Meanwhile, be deeply aware of the creative power of your words. Life and death truly lie in the tongue, and every declaration you make is a seed sown into your spiritual soil. Speak life, words of victory, peace, faith, and promise. Speak as if heaven is listening, because it is. Your words become the architecture of your future, building the very blessings God longs to pour into your life. So plant intentionally, speaks boldly, and trusts that your harvest is already taking root in the unseen